This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to Arn. And, of course, we couldn't do it without the Hall of Famer himself, the founder of the Four Horsemen, the inventor of the Spinebuster, Double A himself, the enforcer, Arn Anderson. Arn, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. Real quick, if I could, Conrad, our friend Brandy, who we know who's had a battle with the COVID, is turning out to be having some long-term effects. And she's not doing well. She had to go see a doctor this week. So I just would like everyone, if they wouldn't mind, to take a moment, say a prayer for Brandy, and we just hope she gets well soon. You know, let's pray for some knowledge to go in some of these doctors' hands and minds, and let's get her well.
Absolutely. Everyone who listened last week to our very special live Q&A that we did over at Ad Free Shows, the first time you had an interaction with Brandy, fell in love with her just like you did, and we're all pulling for her. So thoughts and prayers for her and her family. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I want to give a peek behind the curtain too. I guess we should tell everybody the reality is you and I have a tendency sometimes to, whenever possible, because of travel and my schedule and your schedule, we want to get ahead, and we got ahead, and a lot has happened since then. Something really magical happened a few weeks ago on TNT. Tully Blanchard got the proper send-off that he was probably due more than 30 years ago. And it happened with a tag match with FTR. They wore the old Crockett tag titles to the ring, and he wore his old robe and had his old U.S. title around his waist. And carrying on with him was Mr. J.J. Dillon. And I don't know that we'll see J.J. on TV too many more times. I don't think he's looking for a full-time gig in wrestling. And I don't know how many more matches Tully Blanchard actually wants to wrestle. But my goodness, even if you sort of divorce yourself from the conversation for a moment, what a cool moment that was as a wrestling fan to see on a Turner station, right?
I tell you what, it warmed my heart. You know, it was awesome. I had so much invested in that match with, the new team who have become, the benchmark for tag teams.
Yep.
FTR out there with Tully and all the history that I had. And, a lot of people had opinions of what was going to go on in that match. And that's awesome to speculate on it. But I think he gave a hell of an accounting of himself. And he gave you just a taste of what made him so special. And that match was awesome. Kudos to the other team, the Lucha guys. And they make a great three-man team as well, and it just was so entertaining, man. I loved it.
Yeah, Jurassic Express put up a good fight, but, man, I got to tell you, I was lucky enough to be at that show, and once our quote-unquote segment was done, I told Eric, I said, hey, I know we're just going to head back to the Airbnb, but if it's all right with you, why don't we go ask Sam if we can just sit in the crowd here in one of these seats and watch Tully's match? He said, oh, of course, let's go. So I got to watch it in the crowd, and dude, I was like an 8th grade girl, so happy to see Tully Blanchard hit that damn slingshot suplex. Nostalgia in wrestling is real, and there's a lot of things in wrestling that are just funny, and they're there to entertain us. But man, that meant something. That was real. And the promo that Dax cut afterwards, I mean, Eric and I just looked at each other as he was doing it. We were like, God, we're witnessing something. But of all the fun things I've gotten to do in wrestling, one of the coolest was when Tully came to the back. Every rigger, every staff member, every office guy, every performer, every talent, every runner, every producer, every agent, they gave him a standing ovation, and not like a polite one until he acknowledged it all the way through. I've never been backstage when something like that happened before, and I think AEW documented it, and I hope that footage comes out because it was a moment. And man, as stoic as Tully can be at times, you couldn't wipe the grin off his face if you tried. It was a moment. And I was really overcome with respect and admiration for the respect that the other performers and folks around the business had for somebody who was an all-time great, who maybe, due to the luck of the draw and some bad hands he was dealt, probably didn't get the proper send-off he deserved, but he did that night.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, his career was cut short probably by 10 years.
Right.
Circumstances. And you're right. That's the reason I love that company, man. Everybody pulls for each other. Everybody, helps each other. It's one of those things to where we just want to give the fans, the best product possible. And everyone can have an opinion. And, when you got that many people giving you a stand to know, that's pretty much a across the board opinion, because they wouldn't have done it unless they felt it. And kudos to the class acts backstage and everybody that works for that company.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.